The Prime Minister of Greenland has stated very openly, if we have to choose between the USA and Denmark, I think we have a video that will say it. He basically said we are choosing Denmark. We're not choosing the United States. Okay? That is a statement that the leader of Greenland has very plainly, very strongly said. And the United States already is looking to go into Greenland under very flimsy pretense, saying that supposedly Russia wants to take it over, China wants to take it over. Who cares about Greenland being part of NATO? Nobody cares. In fact, Donald Trump said that he's willing to torpedo NATO in order to get into Greenland, which is very strange considering that NATO is the thing that keeps Greenland safe from China and Russia, but whatever. The reality is that he just wants the resources of Greenland. Trump has also stated that if the United States is to protect any place, it needs ownership over that place, like in real estate, because for Trump, international politics is just one big real estate game, I guess, and business. And all those flimsy excuses, nobody believes that it's about security. Nobody buys that China or Russia are about to move in on Greenland. Nobody, especially since there are already US troops in Greenland, I would remind you, as part of NATO, right? As a part of NATO, like the US has troops everywhere as a deterrent. And I'm not sure if you realize how the type of deterrence works. You don't need a huge American presence in an area in order to create a deterrent effect against a potential aggressor. If somebody attacks a country with US troops in it and attacks the US troops in it, even if it's a small amount, you're automatically at war with the US. Like now US has to commit to that place. That's why the United States has placed a strategic number of troops basically all over the place, including places like Poland. Because you attack that place, and then the United States cannot just as conveniently withdraw and say, we're not committed to help you, right? And that is a thing for Greenland already. Like there's no need for more US presence in Greenland because there's already a whole NATO structure in place there. So this whole flimsy excuse of Russia and China are just on the doorstep of Greenland and are ready to take over is just nonsensical at best, and I don't even want to say what it is at worst, but we all know what it's all about. Minerals, oil, all sorts of things that have nothing to do with Greenland being taken over any day now. So let's listen to the Prime Minister of Greenland saying what he has to say. Okay, he says that in Danish. So I'm just going to read the text. If we have to choose between the US and Denmark, here and now, we choose Denmark. We choose NATO. We choose the Kingdom of Denmark. We choose the EU, which is interestingly enough, Denmark has called upon NATO to intervene should the US move in on Greenland. So that would be a very interesting turn of events, wouldn't it? Internal NATO fighting. It would just completely wreck the whole idea of NATO. But we'll see. We will see what the United States will do. If the United States will actually decide to move in on Greenland or not. But that is not the most interesting thing about this whole thing. The interesting thing about this whole thing is that Mr. Donald Trump, okay, Mr. Donald Trump has actually decided to comment on this, right? Donald Trump has caught wind of the Prime Minister of Greenland talking about it choosing Denmark rather than the United States, okay? And in his wisdom, in his political genius, he has decided to comment on it, basically confirming that he does not care about sovereignty of countries. He does not care about what anybody says. He definitely does not care about international law. That he has said in a recent interview, that he does not care about international law at all, and that the only limit to his actions is his own morality, which should terrify you. If the only limit to Trump's actions is his morality, you should be very, very afraid of what the future holds. Okay, let's see what he said. Because, as always, as with all Trump statements, this one's very, very interesting. Trump is about to be informed that the PM of Greenland said that Greenland chooses Denmark.
On Greenland, sir, the premier of Greenland said today, we prefer to stay with Denmark.
Okay, so Prime Minister of Greenland, we prefer to stay with Denmark.
Do you see that as the
Who
final
said
word?
that?
The premier of Greenland.
Well, that's their problem. That's their problem. I disagree with them. I don't know.
What the fuck is this? Oh, Greenland wants to stay with Denmark? Well, that's their problem. I don't care. I don't give a fuck about sovereignty. Sovereignty is such it's such an outdated concept, isn't it? Who cares? I don't. It's their problem. I disagree. Oh, you want to be independent? You want to choose you want to be able to decide your own fate? Well, I disagree.
Who he is?
I don't know who this prime minister is, this loser. I don't know who this loser guy is.
Don't know anything about him, but that's going to be a big problem for him.
Yeah, disobeying me, that's going to be a problem for him. Disobeying God Emperor Trump, this that'd be a little bit of a problem for Prime Minister of Denmark. But you know, that is what happens. That is what happens when a guy who does not care about the rule of law, any sort of international treaties, international relations, NATO, international law, when a guy that does not give a crap about any of it just gets into power and declares, oh, I want to go here now. Oh, they actually don't want to be ruled by us now? Well, that's their problem. I guess that's not my... It sounds like they're a them problem. I'm going in. We're gonna see NATO collapse, which, by the way, in the same interview that Trump has stated that he does not care about international law and the only limit to his action is his own personal morality, he also said in the same interview that he's very willing to torpedo NATO if it means that he will get Greenland. So we might see in the very near future, NATO become an obsolete concept, in which case, good luck to all of those countries that depend on NATO security to give them safety from Russia, Poland included. We are living in interesting times. I would rather not live in as interesting times as we live in right now, but, you know, who knows what will happen. Anything can happen. And of course, now we might also see the United States decide to move on. I just don't know which is going to be the next country that the United States will enter. Because the list is very wrong. The list is very long and wrong. It's Cuba, Colombia, Mexico, Iran, 5. Am I missing something? Can anybody in the chat, like, are there any other countries that Trump wants to enter? Greenland. I forgot to name Greenland. Did I name Greenland? Cuba, Colombia, Mexico, Iran, Greenland, and what? Is there anything else? I feel like that's enough. I feel like that's a lot. We'll see. I just feel like we are living in a very depressing, very, very interesting times. And let's just hope that we all... Oh, Canada. But Canada is sort of like... Canada is not really being exposed. Like, Trump just floats around the idea of it would be nice if they were a U.S. state, but it's not being as seriously floated around as in, hey, people in Iran, help is on its way, okay? We're gonna move in and help you. It's not being discussed as seriously as Iran or as moving in on Mexico, even because of the cartels, or moving in on Greenland. It's not at that stage. Canada is not quite at that stage yet. Or Cuba is in trouble because it controls Venezuela. Like, all those countries are being kind of sort of seriously discussed when it comes to direct intervention. And Canada is just kind of like, it would be nice if they would be a part of us, but no real plans or no real statements about entering Canada are being made so far. Okay. So for the time being, we can assume that Canada is still safe. Canada is still in the safe zone. So, I don't know. Canada still feels safe to me. Now that may change very soon, okay? That might change very soon, but so far, Canada seems like the safest place compared to all those other countries that I've named earlier.